Well, as we come to the end of this program, and also today, so we thought we'd just do a bit of a ceremony. But before we do that, well, as part of the ceremony, if you like, we'd like to get Clive, Paul, and maybe myself, we'll just do a short summary, if you like, a reflection, comments, just anything that to give you a bit of a flavor of our thoughts. Then we will go into a video, a couple of videos, one from Stefan and one which will come as a surprise. And then after that, we'll just do the if you like, certificate giving and also some acknowledgement from TC for going through this CFS designation program with us. So let's get started. Maybe Clive, Paul, who wants to come first? Right? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to have a mic?
No, thank you, Bang Hall.
We'll never get to do a mic, okay?
Well, first of all, I don't want a microphone. Secondly, I do not want a lectern. I'm not worried about disappearing beneath the ground, so I don't need to hold on to both sides or something. Perhaps I will disappear through the ground, but that's a different matter entirely. But I did just want to say a few things, really under two headings. And the first heading is thank you very much. Because some of you may remember when you did the very first program in this series of programs, the corporate interview program, back in either 2022 or in some cases I think 2023, I was there, and it does give me actually immense pleasure, and I feel immensely proud of the fact that we've now reached this stage and that you're all here today about to be certified as financial supervisors. Well, actually, I think you were referred to as certified financial supervisors yesterday as well, so perhaps it's already happened and I missed it somewhere. I don't know. These things do happen, but just to say, you know, I do feel very proud of that on your behalf, and you know, thank you for all of your enthusiasm, commitment, and participation throughout all of the programs that you've been on. So thanks a lot for that. You know, that is no mean feat, and certainly, you know, when you see the quality of the presentations in the three breakout groups we had in terms of the leadership challenges, I think you can see from that how far you've come. Because I think if we'd done exactly the same thing 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, they would have not been quite so good. So, you know, thank you very much for that. I think that's excellent. And I just wanted, because, you know, kind of asked ourselves this question, did we want to say in closing 3 things about leadership? So I said, well, I'll say 3 things and Paul said 3 things. So that might give us 6 things, or it might give us a bit of duplication, but just something to think about, you know, when you rise up the ranks even further and become leaders, or even things to think about as you watch your leadership in action. You know, bear in mind the sort of things we've been focusing on in this program. So, you know, are you seeing your leadership focusing not just on strategy, whatever that is, but also being helpful to you as staff, or in due course you being helpful to your staff, in terms of what we've been talking about, the ways in which leadership could be constructive and helpful in, you know, implementing risk-based supervision, establishing a risk tolerance, stakeholder management, operational collaboration, you name it. Are you actually seeing your leadership, or you as leadership, be engaged in those issues and be engaged in a constructive and positive way? So what I'm trying to do there is very much link, because it's the purpose of this program, you know, leadership to those supervisory issues and how they relate to your supervisory objectives. Second one, which is a bit like that, but ever so slightly different, I think I'll probably characterise under walk the talk. So you might ask yourself the question, you know, do you see your current leaders walking the talk? And there may be occasions where you think, no, they're not. And we've given examples of how that can undermine things. That can be really quite destructive rather than constructive. But again, you know, challenge yourselves. When you're leaders, what is it that makes you think you will be walking the talk and giving this good, positive impression to your staff? And it's not easy doing that and keeping it up literally full time. But don't fall into the trap of saying the right things some of the time and then doing the wrong things the rest of the time. Not helpful, as you probably understand. So hopefully, be genuinely guided by the sort of things we've been covering this week in terms of what you need to focus on and what you need to do under those headings. And just a final point. Sometimes, you won't always see it, but sometimes ask yourself the question, am I seeing some good practices out there? So in your cases, what are you looking at out there? Well, probably the way in which supervised financial institutions are run. Am I seeing good practices among the leadership of those financial institutions? Am I seeing good examples of corporate governance? Am I seeing a good example of a risk appetite statement, which I could borrow and apply internally to a supervisory authority? So, is there a degree of read across there that you can learn from? So I'm not saying there that if you look out at supervised institutions, you will see nothing but good practice. You know that. But just occasionally you may see something and think, oh, that's interesting. That's something we could be doing in my supervisory authority, or that's something I could be doing personally, which would be positive. So, based on what you've learned from not just this week, but the rest of the CFS program, keep an eye out for those things. Good examples you can build on, not just from within your organisation, but also outside. So those are the three things I wanted to say about leadership. You'll be pleased to know I will end there. I have no slides, there is no exam. I'm stopping.
Say a few words as well. So, like Clive, I'm not going to use the lectern either, because there's a very famous piece of film that some of you may have seen of the late Queen Elizabeth II, who was a very short lady, disappearing behind a lectern, and someone carelessly put there. And I'm thinking, well, if Clive is worried he'd disappear behind that one, I certainly will. I don't want to follow the late Queen's example. So yes, just a couple of thoughts from me. You will be leaders. Many of you will be leaders in 5 to 10 years' time. And I find myself asking, what would I wish you to take from this, and not only this week actually, but all of the other weeks of the CFS. The first thing I think is, and Clive touched on it really, but let me put it in a slightly different way. We learn so much from observing other people, both good and bad. I realise that virtually every case study I write, virtually every example I give, when I'm doing the presentations, are drawn. Then I make them up. These are drawn from good and bad behaviours that I have observed, and we learn so much from that, and we should be open-minded and realise, no, I'm not going to do that because of the corrosive effect I saw that it had, or I really did admire that, so I'm going to follow that sort of example. The second point to make, I think, is that when you are leaders in 5 to 10 years' time, whatever it is, I doubt very much if you'll remember the whole of the week. So Clive and Hang Hong and I take a great deal of trouble crafting our week and making sure it follows on logically and so on. And so we should. It's right that we do that. The fact is, with luck, you'll remember 4 or 5 things from this week. You might remember things like, well, it's quite a good idea to ask board members open-ended questions, or how do I assess, what do I mean by evidence? How can I establish an evidence base? I remember one of those people from the Toronto Centre, whose names I forgot long ago, made some interesting comments, and it stuck in my mind. And those are the important things, really. It's not the kind of beautifully crafted programme, it's really the insights that you get, that you can carry with you. And as I say, if there are 4 or 5 of those, then I think we'll be doing well, and I will be pleased with the outcome. My third point, which I've got 4, my third point is it's something that's come up really in conversation, and I'm quite surprised it has really, is really about the nature of leaders, and indeed the nature of people generally. And I've discussed this with a couple of you I know today. Good leaders and big people go on learning, and they're open-minded, and they say, I didn't know that. I'm quite interested in, I'm pleased that I attended the first half an hour of that training session because I got an insight I didn't know. I really value the insight I get from other people. Bad leaders and small people say, I know all that, I don't need it, I don't. And of course they often don't, they hide behind that. because they feel very insecure. Don't be insecure, be a big person and a good leader and go on there. And the other point, my fourth and final point, which I'm going to make because I thought Clive was going to, but he didn't, so let me make it anyway, was that we spent a bit of time yesterday, doing that exercise there, trying to encapsulate, leadership in one word. My favourite was integrity, but I realised it didn't really work fully because I can think of leaders in 2008 who had enormous integrity, but they couldn't control their institutions. They weren't great leaders. And I came to the conclusion that one word didn't really do it. And you need two or three of them. And I have to say, I think Peter's words, which I will remind you, were grit, urgency, and integrity, do it pretty well, actually. That seems to me to encompass most of the things that we should be looking for. So grateful to him for that, for giving us that multi-dimensional view of leadership. So that's all I have to say. Thank you again, not only for inviting me onto the programme, but also being such great participants and being so
Well, as for me, I will use the mic because I'm coughing a little bit, so I thought better do that. Okay. But yeah, this is just for show. Okay. All right. No, we want to prepare for all eventualities, right? Be prepared, right? Okay, great. I think thanks to Clive and Paul for being here to lead us through this week, and I think particularly for the session just now, the challenges, which I hope all of you found helpful to make your case when you go back to your agency, because that will be the one where you actually go in and deliver. And we wish you all very well. Your various projects are going to be, so by definition, I was telling my group that it's definitely not easy. If it's easy, you wouldn't pick it. It would have been done already, right? So the whole point of leadership is partly to look at that. Things which are a bit more intractable, long-standing. Okay, I think a lot of this is structural. All right, so these are challenges which I think that you are taking on, which is very good, and that's something that I think is going to be very, very helpful for you as you journey up. And I may take a slightly different perspective on the leadership here. Is that I think, as you do in every level, you are leaders in that sense. To use that in a different level, the context of top of management is one thing we all aspire to. Right? But at the same time, every time, wherever you are, you actually have to exhibit leadership. Otherwise, you would not progress to the next level. It's a logical approach. And along that line, I'll just add on, and I think Paul and Clive gave very, very good examples, the 7 of them, about the 7 items of what is it that are actually critical assessment. And I would say that basically the one thing maybe additional behind it would be to say yourself is the human element, right? Because, if you think about it, supervision is a human business. We deal with people. Yes, we talk about systems, supporting and all that, but ultimately, who makes the call? The person across the table from you, the bank, insurance company, securities firm, whoever you're dealing with, they are human beings. So they take action based on human. So therefore, as you basically journey in your leadership journey, as you go up, think from that angle that what are the personal traits you would like to cultivate? If you already have it probably, but make it more, helpful to get you there. And that list that we went through yesterday, the one that Paul pointed out, is actually a good one for you to think about, because they're important. Some are key, others. So do think about what exactly those things that you would like to cultivate. And I'll put my plug for humility again, because I think that actually means that you open your mind to learn, ultimately. That was the whole point behind it. But the rest are very important. Integrity, to me, is a baseline. We're all in this line. By definition, you would definitely have integrity, all right? But a very important point I wanted to highlight what TC always teaches about in terms of stakeholder management communication is about putting yourself in the other person's shoes. So I hope you've seen that when you did your challenge, one of the key things that makes your life easier, if you think about it, is that point. The moment you put yourself in the other person's shoes, you see the challenge in a different light, you see? And hopefully that helps you to put in the case of how to go about and build upon the issues that the challenges you're dealing with, okay? So, and Donia, thank you very much for your help in basically be representing the group yesterday in actually particularly explaining the fact that it's a long journey, okay, very long journey. So I think that part is very important. And like Clive, I think I was very, both of us were in from the beginning. Paul came in a bit in between. But to have this see to its fruition now, I mean, we are actually very grateful that you came through and help us to, in a way, to, if you like, fulfill this particular part of the journey. I think we're looking forward for the next cohort, but of course the first cohort is always going to be special, right? So, so I do thank you very much for that. And as you go down, okay, I'll give myself a clap for all the things you have done, okay? I think you guys have done a tremendous job to get here, right? There are a lot of things to be done. And finally, I would have to say that ultimately, I hope, and I'm sure you'll agree, you've met your friends, right? Because that's one thing we wanted to have here. That at the end of this journey, right, when you have, I'll call it the beginning, okay? Call it a beginning, not an end, a beginning, right? You actually know more people now, all right? And because you came through different cohorts, you actually know even more that you're going through this. So please tap on that. Tap on us if you have any questions. Happy to send me an email. I can forward to anyone you like. And the point is that, this is where the network comes in. It's very helpful. Collaboration is one, but also to basically, if you like, be a bit of a challenge to what you want to do, because I think there are a lot of ideas here from all of you. So let's think about that, all right? So good friends are made here, starting, and then do continue. It would be wonderful if we could meet up. So in closing, I will have to say that you're all not going to be alumni after this, right? We're still working on the plan of what we want to do with the alumni network for the CFS. So I'll update you on that one at some stage. And then at the same time, we would like to follow up on your challenges, okay? And see maybe after 6 months to see how you go, or even after a year, we'll see how the timing. We know it's tough, but we hope that work that you're putting in will carry a lot of weight in your agency and hopefully help you in your journey as you go up the ranks in the agency, all right? So, good one. So thank you all again, all right? And we'll now just go to the next part. So thank you. So right now, what we'd like to do is to show a video from Stefan giving some words on the leadership journey, followed by another video. So let's do this one first.
The Toronto Centre has been training supervisors by now for quite a long time. And as part of that process, pretty much all the board members realized that there is no uniform way of defining what supervision is, how you go about doing it, and how you combine that with leadership issues. And from that perspective, it was a natural further step to try to define this. And out of those conversations eventually came the CFS program, because that should make it possible over time to make it more easily understood what it means to be a certified supervisor. It's actually quite an achievement that we have been able to do this, because the CFS program has been many, many years in the making. And as I said earlier, given that there is no global standard defining how you go about being a supervisor, then for the Toronto Centre to make this happen, I hope will be kind of like a role model for also other institutions in the future when it comes to defining what supervision is and how you learn how to become a good supervisor. Well, first of all, it is actually quite an achievement, because this cohort has been doing this now for a number of years, and they have made it to the end, which means that this is the first group of CFS supervisors. And that is quite an achievement in itself. And of course, on behalf of the Toronto Centre, it's our sincere hope that they feel that it was worth it, and that there are grains of truth coming back to them many years into the future when they become leaders and need to be mindful of what it means to be a supervisor and a leader, and that they realize that. Some of this I actually learned while I was taking the CFS course at the Toronto Centre.
So I think what we'll do now is maybe, Paul, if you want to come here first. Clive will do the first batch, then you do the second batch,
sure,
okay?
yeah.
So we'll divide up. Okay.
This and this on
Yeah,
board.
together, okay? So I think what we'll do is that, you want to do the announcement?
So I think whoever's prepared can stand here. I'll
Oh, okay, all right, sure, all right.
And the certificate.
Sure, okay. So let's get started. All right.
It says Clive or Paul.
Paul, Clive. All right.
I think if we can come here, this one.
Clive, you want to come over here so I can pass to you? It's easier a bit than going over there. Okay, firstly, Andrea. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
You can do that? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good about that? Okay. Well, we'll have a box for that as well, by the way. Okay, well, you should be there thinking. Okay, Cassandra.
We're going to have to turn up the screen in the background.
Too light. Oh, Clive, you actually have to go in front of the screen further up because you have the lights. Yeah. No, come here. This is come this side.
Right about here?
Yeah. X marks the spot. Stay here. Come. X marks the spot. Come on.
Do not walk any further. Right.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Now I'm in the right place.
All right.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Chelsea.
Oh,
There we go. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
There
Okay,
we
go.
go. Very good.
Okay, divide the tree.
Sorry?
Tree. Okay, David. Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
The right place is right. Well done. Thank you very much. There we go.
Okay. Demi. Okay.
Come here. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Well done. Very good. Thank you.
Good. Diana. All right.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, Donia.
Nearly.
There we go. Count eight. Pounds of eight.
Parts of 8.
Eight, yeah, just about eight.
I've taken out 8.
Yeah.
Exactly that. All right. Excellent.
Okay, Dwight. All right. I think that's it. Then Paul.
Oh.
You have 8 treatment.
Very important.
Okay, and
Last one.
Fernando, last one.
Fernando.
Paul, yeah, next. Okay.
You're happier than anyone else in that room.
You recognize that the end of the journey. Okay, so Paul, next.
Okay.
Okay, George. There you go, yes. Unit 8. Okay, yeah. Good. All right, thanks. Gershon? Okay, yeah. Okay, Gifty? Yeah, put it. Okay, good. God's time? Okay. Thank you. Lendra? All right. Great. Mafefo? Here we go. Go. Oh, what's that? Great. Knee? Okay, good man. I think that's the next batch, right? Yeah, and the last one.
Pascal.
And Pascal? Oh, sorry. Careful. We'll replace it. Oh, we'll get it. Sorry about that, a bit one. Okay. Is that whose one? Rodrigo.
Can we
Whose is it?
Rodrigo.
Oh, okay. We'll get it done. That's right. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll take over now. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Good. All right, sorry about Rodrigo. I think it's yours. We'll get it for you. Don't worry about it. Come. Sorry? Yeah, we'll take another one for taking a picture first. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. So, all right, so we'll have to take No, sorry about that. Yeah. Congratulations. No. Come, let's take a photo. Okay, thank you. We'll take this back. All right. Okay. Rose. Okay. Oops. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a little bit of an unwieldy thing here. Sorry about that. Okay. Hello, Rose. Congratulations. Yeah, good. Thank you. Oh, okay, thank you. Oops, careful. All right, okay. Salimi. Yeah, here you go. Yes. Salimi, congratulations. Yeah, come. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Samuel. Samuel. Come in, okay. All right, my man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right? Okay, careful. Shakaria, come. It's all right, okay. Congratulations. Thank you.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Very good. Careful. Right. Okay, thanks. Oh, Shogofatsu. There you go. Come. Thank you very much for your questions yesterday. Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Thank you. Right. Thank you. And Viola. There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So, we must apologize to Rodrigo. Okay, we'll send it to you. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Well, we will actually, we've got some pins, huh? Okay, right, we'll do. So we come to the end of our ceremony here. So I hope that small little ceremony will help you to get into the, and very, very interesting excitement here, okay, for the thing. So we hope you stay together, have a lunch, and then after that, I hope you will have time to enjoy yourself in Toronto. The weather's been very good to us, I think. Before we came out, we thought it was going to be raining the whole week, and I think some of you brought the good weather with you. So okay, all right. So wonderful time, all right. So do enjoy yourself and just take care, okay? Have a safe journey going back. Thank you all. All right. We have boxes for everyone, by the way, for your